My name is Joseph Kaftan, and I'm grateful to be here and to be a part of this amazing week. Thank you. I grew up on the shores of Lake Michigan, and I've always been fascinated by color, light, form, and motion, especially in relationship to where water meets land. I was trained and worked as a graphic designer, and I'm currently a kayak instructor. And like so many people in the Northwest, I love being outdoors. But my main practice, my main love is making glass mosaics. With my art, I hope to express my personal experience of memorable moments in nature, idealized through the medium of glass. I love that with glass, flashes of colored light can suggest water under the surface, rolling waves, scattered clouds, and various other elements of nature. My first ever mosaic was in my house in Seattle. My father was a self-trained mosaic artist, but I hadn't considered working in glass until several years ago when he had a stroke, and I engaged his attention by sitting alongside of him and making a mosaic of my home. His work was primarily in Italian smalty glass, as is this mosaic, which comes in little uniform bricks. He constructed his mosaics in a very classical style that was traditional among ancient Greek and Roman mosaics. I began my exploration in the same style. But very quickly I decided that I'd also try working in stained glass, particularly because of its translucence and versatility in shape and size of each piece. That variety allowed more of a painterly approach to glass placement. With the stained glass, I continued to play with form, design, and sentimentality of subject matter. I'm often drawn to light patterns, light quality, especially as they express tranquility and timelessness. In this case, it's a long time swimming ground. I've always been in love with color and dislike wearing sunglasses as they diminish the color of any scene in front of me. And now, color, no matter how subtle, is one of the main tools I use to express the emotions I feel from the scenes I'm depicting. This is a Francilla, a small lake in northern Wisconsin. I've come to realize that some of my influence have come from the traditional Japanese woodblock prints, and more recently from the German printmaker Eva Pitzker. Other influences were having been exposed to cookbook illustrations and the great naturalist painters found in my family library. Noticing these memories, remembering these images, I became interested in fish and fowl imagery as I further explored mosaics. I feel like these glass fish and birds are seen through the same young eyes I had when I first encountered those wonderful paintings from another era. Often my subjects are taken from a photo shoot while I'm on tour and kayaking or camping. Over time and myriad studies and stretched across multiple species, my fish and bird mosaics started to take on quality of portraiture in that they capture the essence of the character of the subject depicted. Not long ago, I began a series of chickens. I wanted these roosters to echo the painted portraiture of family elders and dignitaries from the 19th and 20th century sitting rooms. I wanted these bird busts to inhabit that sense of undeniable nobility as I often experienced it while visiting my brother's backyard chicken coops. I've always seen the artistic fascinations and influences of my father's work in my own, but one night recently I looked in the mirror and I saw my mother's tired eyes in my exhausted face. I was startled and intrigued, and I decided to try to capture what I was seeing in glass smalting. Normally with smalting, I work in a very structured linear layout like my father, but for this portrait, I tried to channel my mother's wild and fluid painting style, further bringing out her spirit in this image of me. I'm excited to further explore large format human portraits, definitely chicken portraits, and also large nature scenes. Thank you so much. That's a great question. One of my best friends is a glass blower, and I described what I wanted for an eye, and they call him a cane, and he made that for me, and I use it from time to time for chicken eyes. Yeah, it's a little bit of cheating, but it's not allowed.
It's not cheating.
Thank you. Yes?
This is such an intense image. Wonderful. Could you tell us a little bit about the process you went through to get this quality, since it's a self-portrait? Did you do a lot of sketches, or how did you get to it?
I took a photograph of myself at that moment, and later blew it up to the size that I was making this piece, which is a little bigger than life size. And I drew on top of it, and then transferred the drawing to the frame of the mosaic.
Did you do like a color study, or?
I just really tried to match the color. Well, I took the photo in Photoshop and tried to match the tones of the face. The truth is, I was about to fly to Asia. I was delinquent on getting my visa for China, and this was the photograph I took and quickly emailed in. And I just kept staring at it as I traveled. I'm like, this has to be a mosaic. And I really think I look 10 years older here than I did, but I look more like my mom. And the image haunted me the entire travel trip. So I came home and immediately made this. Yes?
This is not really about the art, although the story behind is the art. Can you tell me anything more about your mother? You said you looked like your mother with her tired eyes.
My mom, my parents were much older. My mom would be 100 and my dad would be 104 right now if they were both living. And my mom was a trained artist, was a newspaper photographer during the war in Vietnam. And my dad was an attorney, but also self-taught mosaic artist and sculptor. And people will always say, oh, you must feel your dad sitting on the chair next to you while you work. And I'm like, yeah, I do. But my mom is inside of me. It's my mom that I learned creativity through. It's my mom that was there teaching it to me year in, year out, and it's my mom that I feel like I'm expressing in every single piece I do. I love that I'm doing what my father did, but it's, I'm definitely channeling my mother. I know they know I'm doing this. This didn't happen until after they both passed, but I feel it with me. One more? Or,
How many colors of glass are in there?
I have no idea, but I mean, when you order Smalty, I think there's at least 200 options. Maybe not quite. Yeah, it's cool. Yes.
And there's variation within a color too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
some of them Smalty does, and some of it doesn't. This one mostly does not have a lot of. I could get into that more, but that would be for another time. Thank you so much. Thank you.